So the next panel discussion that we have is a treat. I think sometimes in these spaces we forget just how much work goes on, who's doing them, and to give them the opportunity to share with us. So if you could please put your hands together for Women in Bitcoin. Yeah, I knew you were going to put your hands together. I like it. So, for some reason, my phone has decided to stop working with me. So if the ladies could make it to the stage while I look for... give me your phone. Actually, you...
Okay, so we have the privilege of having Everlyne, Sarah, Thulisa, and Ellie to share with us their experiences, their perspective, and that'll take us into lunch. Thulisa, are you modding?
Hello. Yes.
Wonderful. Ma'am, over to you. Thanks, everybody.
Hello, everyone. If you think I'm nervous, you are right. I would like to firstly welcome these beautiful ladies from different secular economies. And quickly, if you can introduce yourself and maybe tell us one fun fact about you, that would be much funner and nicer. Yes.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I represent Bitcoin Karoo. Oh, fun fact. Off the cuff. Probably, the most fun thing is that I go everywhere with my daughter. So she's probably the youngest Bitcoiner here. She's at the back there, Ava. And I think that represents for me something that we're also trying to push with Bitcoin is that this is about family values going back to a world where we're not chasing money and finance. It's about real things for us in our communities. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Everlyne from Bitcoin Babies. Fun fact, I love working with mothers. I'm a mother myself, mother of 3.
Nice.
So when it comes to motherhood, I take it serious because I've been there, I'm doing it. Yeah, that's me.
Hello, guys, and thank you. So I'm Ellie from Bitcoin Witsand. Seeing that we are women in Bitcoin, I thought I'll give you a fun fact. Just when I was much younger, when I was 5, I was quite a tomboy, and my mom didn't want me to cut my hair, so I got my best friend Kobus to cut my hair that short.
Okay, you guys are funny. If I can quickly tell you more about myself, my name is Thulisa, as I said before. I run a secular economy that is called Bitcoin Loxion. And the vision and the mission behind Bitcoin Loxion was to change the narrative and the stigma around Bitcoin in Khayelitsha. Fun fact, how I came into this space, witchcraft. I'm joking. I came into the conference for the first time in 2020. Thank you very much, 2023. And my mind was blown away with how Bitcoiners are so united, how everyone is willing to support one another. And it actually inspired me to go to my community and do something about it. This goes to my question. What actually inspired you to build a secular economy? And if you can, please mention the secular economy that you're running so that these people don't forget.
Okay, so maybe there's nothing like the dark side to kind of bring you over to the light, right? So maybe a little bit of a different angle, and I think there are a few people in the room that probably come from this background, but I did 20 years in finance. And there's not a lot of places like that. If you have a heart for change, that can teach you very, very quickly that the system that we have at the moment is not bringing real solutions. So I worked for, bless their hearts, Investec, which is now 91, the asset manager, for about 10 years, and then went on to work for Standlib, which is a spin-off of Liberty South Africa. If you've lived in South Africa, you'll know any of the insurance-linked businesses don't have a great rap around what they can actually produce for people long-term. And I suppose I have a great thing, I think, a good attribute I'd like to say about my personality, and that is that I have a naivety, which I kind of always saw coming through when I worked in those spaces. And that was that I kind of always believed that we were fighting for something really big. And it was that kind of friction of my naivety walking into those environments that suddenly exploded this urgency in me to say, like, excuse my language, but what the fuck are we doing? Like, we're sitting around in South Africa, like, we're making wealthier people wealthy. We're posting about the fact that we have these CSR programs and community programs, but we're not actually doing it. And the worst part is that we're not actually even helping the people that we can reach, middle class and high wealthy people. So come COVID, I kind of spun out with my husband, and we were like, we're going to a permaculture farm. We're going to go, like, farm somewhere, get the hell out of this system. And in that moment, there was this kind of realization that if you can build something small in a small space, it has actually a really, really big impact. And maybe that's something just to take home. It's something that Herman also reminded me of, is try think small, guys. The cities is where this kind of fiat world exists. The smaller regions, you can have a really big impact. And if you can imagine that the collective of all those smaller regions could eventually just kind of, we could kind of implode around the cities and like force change in this passive, beautiful way, then I think we can do something really powerful. So for me, I don't want to say it's unfortunate. I think I come from a background that's important to understand, and I hope I can be a resource to the bigger community as well in that way. But it was really the dark side of what I saw in that world that drove that for me. Yeah.
Okay, for us at Bitcoin Babies, we run a program with the moms. Each year we take 10 moms with kids under 1 year. So every week we give them sats worth $5. So we were like, yeah, we've given them sats. Then what next? Where will they spend the sats? That's where the circular economy came in. So we started onboarding the merchants, which was a way tough job. Don't even ask. So we started small. We started with a supermarket where like they can buy diapers, wipes, and stuff for the babies. Then we went on to groceries, we have a butchery. Now we have like 15 merchants where like if you need anything for the house, for the baby, you can get. So that's how we started the circular economy, through the mothers now. Yeah.
So, yeah, you don't change Bitcoin, Bitcoin changes you. I can't say I really set out to, I definitely didn't set out to start a Bitcoin circular economy. It was, I almost want to say Bitcoin didn't give me a choice. I studied finance and I did economics and I worked a little bit with actuaries, and it was mind-blowing to realize what inflation really is. And I'm so disappointed in myself that I didn't realize it earlier. I went through an entire BCom degree without clicking that the system is wrong. And then I spent 3 years doing an MBA with lots of clever people that's very ambitious and wanting to make money and make the world a better place. And it was a room full of inspiring, wonderful people. Very hyper-intelligent. And none of us clicked what's wrong with the system. We all want to make it better. We just didn't click the problem. And then Bitcoin came. And it's like, I think I went into depression. The world is so broken. And it was the most beautiful moment in my life being in Mauritius at ABC, because I was in a room full of people that want to make the world a better place just like I do. And it's beautiful knowing that there's other people out there fighting for the same thing. So no, this is not something I decided to do. It just happened to me.
Do you see why Bitcoin needs women? Yeah. We are natures by nature, right? When I came back from Bitcoin Ekasi, I was so mind blown. Oh, my mind was blown away. I said to my mind, I'm just going to go back to my community, start doing meetups. I want to teach people about Bitcoin. And there was someone behind my ear said, you are black, you're young, you're going to make it, right? And naive me, I was like, I'm black, I'm young, I'm going to do it. And then little did I know that building a circular economy comes with a lot of things besides being young, black, or despite the skin of your color, right? This goes to my next question. Let me read it out. My fault. If more women would lead Bitcoin adoption, what would change?
Maybe let me start with the three problems we've had, and maybe I think that there can be a lot of solution brought to that. I think certainly by, the emphasis of it is on women, but I want to almost turn it and say, like, the emphasis is actually on people that have a natural affiliation to kind of nurturing a family and community unit, and that can be men as well, right? So if I have to kind of face the three problems, the three kind of major problems that we've had, and we've spoken to people up here that have basically spoken about what have we done as circular economies. We've gone out and onboarded merchants. And why have we onboarded merchants? Because merchants are the easiest incentive. I learned that lesson, right, in finance. I was like, I've discovered this philosophical experience as somebody from an economic background. Like, why is nobody listening to me? Why is it when I post these big things about, guys, like, we've discovered the fact that the gold standard went, we went off that and what it's done for our communities and inflation over time. And I was like, why is nobody listening to me? Like, why are people looking at me with a blank face? Like, who cares, And I realized that the average person working, it's again like a product of coming out of finance, right? The average person working is working their butt off just to make $100 every day. Show them the real solution, right? So why do we onboard the merchants? Because it's the easiest guy to show tomorrow a real solution to their business. In South Africa, I always say, like, okay, what's the real solution? No 3.5% fees on your cards, instant settlement. Let's not talk too openly about it, we all say, but tax is certainly an option. We start to wonder if that might not be actually something we need to speak about more openly. Real solutions for the merchants. And of course, you think as you're going, I'm getting these merchants on board, I'm going to get these, it's just going to happen, right? The circular economies happen, and then you hit this brick wall. And what is that brick wall? It's like these big, big problems that are ingrained in our minds, right? And these problems, like, they stem from a couple of things, and there are three things always in my head. It's Bitcoin as an investment, right? You're facing these merchants that are like, but this is an investment. Someone's paid me Microsoft shares for, like, a Coca-Cola. Like, I'm not going to go out and spend this now. Like, why would I do that, right? The crypto trading, right? It's like instant gambling. Why? Because we're incentivized to gamble, guys. Like, we're built in with that gambling incentivization in us. The system does that. And then the third thing, which is just, I can't express this enough, and I want to pause on this point, and it's something that I'm battling with at the moment just in my community and in myself. Like, I want to ask us as Bitcoiners, like, is it still inside you? Is it still inside you, the idea that you want to stop working? You want to make your millions and then stop and then sit somewhere with a cocktail in your hand? Because the truth is, Bitcoin has nothing to do with that. Real Bitcoin economy is about appreciating the value of work, productivity, that then we begin to understand our productivity is energy, and that is energy flowing between us. And that was the lesson that I had to learn as a person coming out of finance. we were talking about the dream to people always. The dream is put your money in an investment, don't worry, rent your money out, you're going to sit pretty for a long time. And women, I think, bring to that mentality a certain level of understanding around the need to consistently work in a family, right? And I say that without like any disrespect to men, in the sense that I think there's a lot of people on both sides that think like that. But I think there is like a masculine aspect of like, we're just going to hit the jackpot, guys, and we're going to go and sit in Mauritius or wherever, I don't know. So fight the fight, guys. Go out and onboard the merchants and spread the message. But I want to say I'm not challenging other people, I'm challenging myself. I had to challenge myself is while I was building the Bitcoin circular economy, was I actually still thinking in a fiat way? And it took me a long time. It was like a real eye-opener for me that I had to realize it was still in there. It was still in me. I wanted to like log off at some point. And I think that is what has been the miraculous change for me about Bitcoin, is that it teaches you the value of a day's work. We've lost that, and I think women still understand that because we're moms, right? And we learn about this. There, and mothers in many, many different ways. I know there are women that don't have children, but you mother naturally your community. Like you give naturally time without necessarily wanting something back for it. And I think we need to kind of nurture that mindset, yeah.
Okay, for me, I think women will change. For us women, I think we tend to think about the next thing. We don't think of now. We think tomorrow. We think the future. So it will, for a woman, like for myself, I'm thinking of the next generation, what my kids will find. So as a woman, yeah, we tend to think about what is there further away. I don't know, it's just us. So for us, it will help, like for a mom to think about their kids. They won't suffer, like what I've gone through, like known about Bitcoin. I want my kid to get there way faster than I got there. So like teach my kids, like for my kids, they know I do Bitcoin. Like if you ask my kid what I do, mom does Bitcoin, even if he doesn't know what Bitcoin is. Everyone, even in class, my mom does Bitcoin. So, and he's 7 years, by the way. So, even in the community, they're like, you do Bitcoin. They are curious, asking. So, I want, like, your kids, for us women, we think ahead. So, it will really help for women to be in Bitcoin, I think.
On a lighter note, I think we need to get more women in Bitcoin because it's a case of maths. It's 50% of the population. We need more women in Bitcoin if we want everyone on the standard.
And women are the biggest spenders, so let's get them spending.
Yeah.
90% of the income.
And if they can see or feel this energy, it says we need more women in Bitcoin. That comes to my next or last question, right? But before we go to that question, can you please look at your neighbor? Yeah. Ask your neighbor, why haven't you introduced your woman into Bitcoin? Quickly. Congratulations. This is a very nice session. I wish you could give us an hour next time, right? Next time. But one last question. What has been your experience of being a woman? No. What advice would you give a young woman who's curious about Bitcoin? I'm going to go last with this one. I'm going to be the last one to answer. Let's start with you. Okay, let's start this way. Let that. Nice.
Sorry, I thought...
Okay, let's do it again. What advice would you give a young, curious woman about Bitcoin?
It is very important to take responsibility for your own financial future. And you're already on the right track asking the question.
Yeah.
Keep the curiosity and keep on asking.
Yes.
For me, I would say start where you are. Start small. If you have like a business, implement Bitcoin in that. Be curious. Want to know what is Bitcoin. So for me, it's start where you are. Yes. Whether it's a business, implement Bitcoin through that. Then grow as you go. As you become curious, you learn more. Yeah.
Maybe if I can twist it just a sec, because I live in a very small town called De Rust in the Karoo. And of the kind of 30 establishments that are accepting Bitcoin, I would say that probably the largest and most diverse of them are actually run by women. Yeah. And they're older women in the community, both like from a farmer right through to an entrepreneur, a gallery owner. So yeah, once again, I think a lot of the time it is about just finding people where they are, so where they stand, and finding real solutions for them. I've had to keep going back to that. I know we've got a lot of philosophical stuff to talk about when it comes to Bitcoin, but show people the real solutions, and then just like respect yourself, like look deeper and respect yourself. That's what Bitcoin does for you. It's respecting your energy. Yeah.
So to add on to that, I just want to say, you said respecting yourself and your own energy. I think as women, we are very, very different, and we all bring something different to the table. And I think we all set an example in our own way. Whatever it is that you do, you own your power and you be you. So Sarah was actually she was the first woman I met that was in Bitcoin, and she helped me and taught me. So it's quite an honor then to sit on this stage with you. Thank you for being the example.
For me, it wouldn't be an advice or say it would be a statement, right? Ladies, this is not a men's world. This is everybody's world, and everyone is welcome to learn, be creative, explore, ask questions, tap into those spaces where you never thought you would tap into. So with that being said, ladies, thank you very much for sitting with me here and respecting me with my questions. And last but not least, don't forget to come to Khayelitsha on Sunday.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.